Today in Water is Wet and Rupert Murdoch is going for the jugular, the Wall Street Journal is now reporting that Trump was told his name was in the Jeffrey Epstein files before the Department of Justice decided to withhold the documents. This new exclusive reporting from the Wall Street Journal says that Donald Trump was told in May by Attorney General Pam Bondi that his name appeared multiple times in Department of Justice documents about sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein did say that they were best friends. Photos surfaced yesterday, I believe it was CNN who broke that story, of Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples, where Jeffrey Epstein was a guest. So we know that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, numerous other conspiracy theorists, folks that Trump has put in his government, had all made promises to release the Epstein files. We know it was something that Trump campaigned on. He has been telling his MAGA base since at least 2019 that Bill and Hillary Clinton were in the Epstein files, that Bill and Hillary Clinton were responsible for Epstein's death, and that releasing the Epstein files would result in the deep state being exposed to this cabal of super rich left-leaning elites. And rightly so, Donald Trump made this the core of his cult. And so a lot of MAGA want to abandon him over this. A lot of MAGA are freaking out. They are feeling betrayed. They're saying promises made, promises broken. They're saying, if he lied about this, what else did he lie about? Meanwhile, Trump is like, stop talking about this, everybody. I'm going to call it a hoax now, even though this was one of the things I ran on as being important to expose. Now I'm calling the whole list a hoax. So all of you MAGA who said if he lied about this, what else is he lying about? We're now seeing that he lied about there being more information. He lied about the fact that there is a list. He lied about the fact that his name is on it, at least according to the Wall Street Journal. Right, it's important to understand the timeline here because for years, Trump was saying release the Epstein files. It was something he campaigned on in 2024. At the beginning of his regime, Pam Bondi said that she would release the files. In March, she said she had them on her desk. The plan was to release them. She made all kinds of statements about how the Democrats had been suppressing what was in the Epstein files and they didn't want it released, but that she was going to bring honesty and accountability and make sure that all of this information went public. And then apparently Pam must have read through those files and found out, oh shit, my boss's name is all over this. Which I think shows the kind of worshipful cult-like loyalty she has for Donald Trump, because she really was a diehard believer. She is somebody who absolutely is a conspiracy theorist and a MAGA hat. She also has unwavering loyalty for Daddy Donald. I hate that they call him daddy. I think that is so fucking creepy. It's absolutely telling about their mindset and the way that they relate to him. It's, okay. So Pam Bondi goes to Trump and says, hey, your name is all over these. The messaging at that time was, we are going to release the Epstein files. And then after that meeting, a couple of weeks later, suddenly Pam Bondi says, nothing to see here. It's all closed. There's no list. We don't have anything to release. We can all see why that timing is really important. Since then, there has been huge backlash from MAGA. People are calling for Pam Bondi to be fired. Folks thought that she was going to be the fall guy for all of this, but Trump shows a strange amount of loyalty to her as well, which I find surprising considering how many other attorneys general that he fired, how many other people in his administration during his first term he just kept checking out the door if they caused problems for him. But so far he has stayed by Pam, maybe because she will do anything for him. There is no bridge too far for her. There is no line she won't cross. Even knowing that his name is all over the list, she continues to stand by him and lie to the American people. Now, the Wall Street Journal did say that being mentioned in the Epstein files is not necessarily a sign of wrongdoing. And in recent days, we've seen Trump calling all of this a hoax, saying that there are no Epstein files. But then at the same time, Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in prison, and we're hearing rumors that the Department of Justice might wanting to be finding a way to commute her sentence in order to get her to, not say what she knows. We see that Congress wants her to come and testify before them. So it doesn't surprise me that the Department of Justice would be like, hey, in exchange for your silence or whatever it is that they're promising her, Ghislaine, we will commute your sentence for diddling kids, for trafficking and raping girls. I have no idea how that is something that MAGA could square with their cult, how they could accept that, considering so much of the core of their movement is save the children, exposing the pedophiles, making sure that child traffickers face harsh punishments, which of course society should be protecting children from people who want to traffic and sexually assault them. So then why would the Department of Justice want to be in talks to release Ghislaine Maxwell? And we've seen the MAGA base freaking out. So Trump was like, I'm going to throw them a bone. I'm going to assume that my base are a bunch of idiots and that they can be easily pacified. I mean, initially he tried the whole like, y'all are a bunch of weaklings. This is just a far left hoax. There's no Epstein files. There's no Epstein list. Y'all are stupid. I don't need your support anymore. That didn't go over very well. So then he was like, okay, fine. I'm going to throw you a bone and hope that this pacifies you. I am going to demand that the grand jury testimony be unsealed. Now, we know that they filed in court to have the grand jury proceedings for Ghislaine Maxwell's case unsealed, and that a judge said no. And of course, this went before an Obama-appointed judge, and they are trying to make them the fall guy, right? They're trying to say, see, we tried, and it's that radical leftist judge who won't let y'all see what's in there. But the Department of Justice's filing was weak, it was insufficient, and the judge was like, you have not met the threshold for me to be able to do this. This isn't my fault, this is your fault. You did not present an adequate, compelling case to me. That was intentional by the Department of Justice because they don't want y'all to see what's in there. It's also worth noting here that last week, an ABC journalist asked Donald Trump directly if Pam Bondi had told him, quote, your name appears in the files. And Trump replied, no, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of different things that they've seen. He went on to say that he believed the files were made up by former FBI Director James Comey. God, he's so fucking embarrassing. I know that MAGA eats up all of his nonsense. I want to make a video later talking about all of the conspiracy theories and hoaxes that Trump has put forth and his fan base have believed over the years. It's enough for probably like a 2-hour-long video, so I'll only be able to do a fraction of them. But after years of telling his followers that it was going to be a bunch of Democratic elites that were on that list, and that we had to expose the list so we could get justice and we could prosecute kid diddlers and we could drain the swamp, expose the deep state. But now that we know his name is in the files, suddenly he's saying, oh, this is all made up by Barack Obama's former FBI director. And again, promises made, promises broken. MAGA are saying he lied to us about the Epstein files being released. What else is he lying to us about? They are not believing any of the bullshit that he's putting forth about the Epstein files now suddenly being a hoax put together by James Comey. There's nothing in the list. Oh, there is a list. There are files, but you can't believe what's in it, even though I told you for years that I knew what was in it and it was going to expose the Democratic deep state. Now I'm saying, oh, it's all a hoax. But if it's a hoax, why was Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? Why was Jeffrey Epstein in prison? Why is Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon saying there's more than 4,000 leads on financial transactions, moving over $1 billion worth of money through Jeffrey Epstein's accounts that the DOJ refuses to investigate? And Trump wants MAGA to believe it's all made up and it's a hoax now. And they're not going to buy that. This is the crack in the cult of MAGA for the conspiracy theorists, for the folks who shifted from QAnon, adrenochrome, Pizzagate, for all of those kind of like satanic panic folks who've had this mindset and for whom this stuff is just the core of who they are. This is a betrayal that they are not going to overcome. And the more that comes out, the worse it's getting for Trump. This news from the Wall Street Journal today, I'm anxious to see how MAGA replies. So this story today broke after Trump filed a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for $20 billion in response for the Wall Street Journal's reporting that Donald Trump may have sent Epstein a suggestive birthday card more than 2 decades ago. And it looks like Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal are not backing down because they are continuing to report on this story. They are undeterred. Now, I'm not going to speak in this video as to whether the Wall Street Journal is trying to get Trump removed from office, as to whether J.D. Vance and the Heritage Foundation have some plan to push Trump out early. There's so much, again, like basically conspiracy theory speculation around that all over the internet. And I'm not going to do that here. But I am interested to see how this story develops, whether Trump will be able to weather this storm, or whether this is the death knell for MAGA's support of him and his cult.